सलाम मेरे अजीज पंखों।
The 1 hour drive from Lee House to John Mansion was silent. The scared and anxious Theon was holding his hand tightly. His legs were feeling numb and his heart was pounding very fast. Jungkook was throwing daggers on Theon from his eyes, which was making him shake with fear. Only one honk in front of a very big iron gate was enough to make the gate open by two guards. After stopping the car, Jungkook unplugged the Taeyong's seatbelt and the door of the car was opened by the guards. They was confused. Whose place was that? He was supposed to go back to the home where Jungkook kept him after the kidnapping. Jungkook, come. Ordering strictly, he didn't leave a single room to listen any kind of caution. Theon silently followed him, examining lavishness of this house, taking baby steps. He was moving further, but looking here and there, resulting he bumped into Jungkook, who was waiting for him. I'm sorry. They muttered and looked down, embarrassed. Jungkook held his small hand in his big one, his warm skin against their soft and cold one. The combination was enough to give rise to an electric current feeling in both frames. Taeyong gulped nervously, but Jungkook ignored his feeling while stepping further. Jungkook, now this is your home. You live here only willingly or unwillingly. I don't care, Jungkook said. Jungkook whispered near his ear, dangerously. Taeyong's honey brown eyes suddenly popped up with tears. They lifted his gaze to Jungkook's face. The honey brown pair was against the dark one. His eyes were demanding something. But what? Jungkook was unable to understand. Lisa, Hyung, are you alright? Their eye contact was broken when Jungkook's sister appeared from nowhere. Jungkook, yeah, I'm fine. How is Uma? Jungkook replied as well as asked a question, but his sister was only seeing Taeyong. She was shocked to witness Taeyong in her house. Jungkook, he's your brother-in-law. Jungkook answered the unasked question of his sister. Lisa nodded and tried to pass a smile but could not. They was also feeling hesitate. He was not even able to lift his gaze. What's Uma and aunt are doing? Jungkook cautioned, and his sister informed him that they both were sleeping. Jungkook, inform me when Uma wakes up. Saying that, Jungkook stepped toward his room. Jeong shivered when Jungkook slammed the door behind him. Now, they both were alone in a room. Their heart was running like hell. He was confused with his feelings. One part of his wanted to run away from Jungkook and other half want to hug Jungkook and feel the same fragrance that always make him a bit crazy. But this time Jungkook's expression was different. To understand, he continued to glare at Taeyong. They, how are you now? They asked without making any eye contact. Jungkook, oh wow, so you remember about me. Amazing. That was a clear stare. Wrapping his anger, Taeyong's eyes dropped two tears and he sniffed. Jungkook, why do you want to go away from me, Taeyong? Jungkook cautioned, rightfully. His voice was loud as well as outraged. Jungkook, answer me. Jungkook roared. Taeyong jumped on his place with that thunder-like voice, which was enough to make his heart stop pumping. Jungkook was not completely fine. He was advised to take proper bed rest, but here he was restless without Taeyong. Unbuckling his waist belt and pulling the shirt out from his pants, he sat down on the corner of the bed. Taeyong was still standing at a distance. Jungkook, what's the faults in my life? I can pay on my life to save yours. Isn't it enough to prove my love? They asked, not a outrage. As before, his voice was low. One can buy everything with money, but not emotion. He wanted to be loved by Taeyong, but Tae was not paying any attention to him. Jungkook, tell me, Tae, what do you wanna go away from me? What's the flaw in my love? Jungkook repeated, and this time Taeyong gave up on his silence. They burst out in tears. Going toward Jungkook, he sat beside him, maintaining a few inches of distance between them. They, there's no faults in your love. Looking into his eyes, they replied in a mumble, but two tears again rolled down from his eyes. They, but there is no happiness in my fate. They cried out. Jungkook was stunned by his answer. They, my happiness does not last for long. They muttered. His eyes were fixed on his hand, but shifted his eyes to Jungkook's face. They, and I don't want you to have any problem. That's why I wanna go away from you. Jungkook was stunned by Taeyong's reasoning. Jungkook, are you serious? He asked and pulled Tae in his arm. Jungkook, you are such an idiot you are. Wrapping his arm around his wrinkled frame, Jungkook muttered under breath. Taeyong sobbed on his chest and dared to hug him back, which bounced a smile on his face. He looked down at his chest. His wifey was crying out like an innocent child. It was difficult for him to avert his eyes from Tae. Sensing Taeyong's gaze, they looked up. The chin was resting on his chest. Arms were still wrapping around his hard frame, and eyes were peeping in his eyes. Jungkook, don't think like this again. Never. Get it? Jungkook whispered with love. Taeyong wanted to nod his head, but only blinked his eyes. Taeyong was shocked. This was the first time they felt how beautiful a forehead kiss can be. His heart bounced loudly, and Jungkook felt that a jolt against his chest. He smiled at the shocked face of Taeyong. He was feeling the heart beat very fast, and white cheeks were turning red with every passing moment. Jungkook, didn't you miss me? I was missing you with every passing moment. Jungkook asked in a whisper. When his hot breath fell on Tae's face, they shuddered, feeling shy as well as uneasy. They broke eye contact and tried to move back, but a strong arm wrapped around his waist tightly, holding Tae against his chest. Jungkook, answer me, Tae. Did you miss me? Jungkook asked, and this time they nodded, but their eyes were fixed on the button of Jungkook's shirt, which was his fingers were playing nervously. Jungkook, really? He asked in the same whisper while lifting their chin with his index finger. They looked in the deepness of his eyes and nodded again. They, I was also missing you. I prayed that may God give you my age too. Again breaking the eye contact, they informed him the truth, and Jungkook narrowed his eyes. Jungkook, you were missing me, but did not bother to ask me if I was alive or dead. This time he was disappointed, and they could not blame him. They informed him everything about his mother's behavior on the phone call, even telling him about the divorce threatened by his mother. They, will you really divorce me? They questioned, but more than the word, their eyes were hiding a power. Jagu, what do you think? He asked, and they smiled sadly. A tear jumped out from his cliff of his eyes, which ended in a small journey on Jungkook's hand. They, I'm thinking nothing. I only want to be with you for the rest of my life. Jungkook smiled, holding his chin in between his thumb and index finger as he lifted the head up. Jungkook, your wish is my command, my lady. And he kissed the nose tip. He was his cute moment ever. They is like a magic, but Jungkook's case, it's turned out as a black magic, which can converting a dangerous light into a cute rabbit. They were pretty shocked. Jungkook, yes. Jungkook, no matter what anyone say, never mind that you're my wifey, and I don't care about other opinions about you. They, I'm sorry, I didn't want to hurt you by telling you about your mother harsh word, but I Jungkook, she is not my mother, but aunt. She is a bit harsh sometimes, but my Uma is very polite and innocent, just like you. They was quite shocked to hear the fact. What his real mother comes to know that Jungkook had been shocked. She had a heart attack. Till now, she was not healthy enough to talk to anyone all day and night. She was only mumbling Jungkook's name in her weak voice. Don't take Aunt word to heart. She has a bitter and sharp tongue, but she is not so cunning. Jungkook kissed the back of his palm after giving him assurance. Taeyong smiled shyly when he placed their head on his heart. Jungkook, you are always here. Taeyong was discovering the definition of flair. In that touch, the heart was beating fast as well as unevenly. Only that small touch was making him shaking, but he didn't want Jungkook to stop. Jungkook on. Jungkook,